Well, here we go. Friday market analysis, March 14th, Standerlick. And we do have a rally. No surprise. Started talking about it yesterday and maybe a little bit earlier than that. We have oversold conditions and a lack or a stalling of downside momentum in a support area. And yesterday's new low, correct, even below the support area, correct, but the closing price yesterday for the E-mini was not below previous lows in oversold conditions in a support area. So that was the underlying reason to expect a bounce. So we're about high and last right now and a little bit above yesterday's highs. But one of the important keys here is the high for the last 4 days on all of the indexes, and that was Wednesday's high. I really want to get above Wednesday's high on a closing basis in order to get a rally, I think, up to at least the next resistance area above the market, which starts around 57.97. But there's another level that's important, and that's the low on January 13th. So that low was about 58.07. So, 58. And once we get there, if we get there, then I think it's going to fail and turn back down. That's the description I've got basically for the stock indexes. On the average, we need to get above Wednesday's high on a close. Then I think we're going to get follow through up to the original low of January 13th. Let's look at the 1 minute chart. Right near the high of the day today, only made an hour or two ago. Probably going to make new highs. Don't see any reason for it to stop, in particular at the levels it's at. Checking my daily at the moment. This is the new high close for all week long if we stay right here. But it's not really good enough to get that momentum going that I want. So I do think that the markets have made a low. I just need a little bit more upside in general to be a bit more confident. And now for the S&P, SPY, would be a new high close if we stay here or higher for this week. And we're close to the high of Wednesday and also Tuesday. They're very close together. So, make both of them. Then we got the momentum up to the low of January 13th, 55.75. We did not get down to a support area on the YM, so that doesn't count. And we have not reached any downside objectives that I called for weeks ago. And I'm going back real quick to the E-mini. Remember, the E-mini downside objective is still 54.48. The YM, 54.30-ish, 5.43. And I still think after this rally, we're going to go down and make new lows and get to my objectives on the downside. They started coming true for the downside breakout on March 6th. And that was over a week ago. So it took a little over a week to get down, 75, 80% of the downside objective. Pretty big move down. Also, you hear on the financial stations people talking about we're in the correction zone. What the hell does that mean? Well, supposedly you're down 10% from market tops, and that implies, which I can accept, more downside momentum, but it's awfully slow to come to a conclusion about the beginning of a correction. I started talking about it when we started developing the double and triple tops. And that had to be in the ballpark of, I don't know, probably at the very earliest, give or take a day or so, February 19th. a month ago, almost a month ago. So, rally up to resistance, modest new lows. I am not convinced that this top that we have since basically November is a major long-term top. I don't see that. I hope not. I don't think it's going to be. Now, looking at the spider 1-minute chart, just doing fine. Now, on the QQQs, again, the closing price yesterday was not below previous lows, even though the low was. The first little key here to a flip, so to speak. And we were oversold for quite a long period of time, a couple of weeks. So, I've been talking about a turn, and I thought I probably had one before, but that only came up to resistance. This time, resistance is all the way up to 499, with some being at 484. And I expect those levels to be reached in the next week or two. And then new lows to my downside objective because of the double or triple top, and that's 458 or lower. But at this point, I'm not looking for a lot lower, just the objective. QQQ, near its high on the rally, 1-minute chart. Yep, we just need more strength to clear some of these important recent Wednesday's highs. And then I think we got a bit of a shot more up, and it could happen today. We're up there. We're near the highs. We've got a good move starting pretty strong, but we're at a little resistance, and I wouldn't be surprised if it falters slightly and then do this on Monday or Tuesday. NASDAQ, daily data chart. By the way, note none of the indexes got below yesterday's lows. Therefore, I don't have the ability to tell you we're having a bullish engulfing. Therefore, I don't have the ability to tell you that we should have a green ER buy signal. But the only thing at the moment we're missing really is the low lower than yesterday's low. And then I would have green buy signals pretty much across the board. But again, we don't because we didn't make the lower low than the previous day's low. NASDAQ, a little tiny bit above yesterday's high or right at it. This is very, very close to Wednesday's high. That's the highest high for the last 4 days, including today, or previous 3 days, including today. So that would probably pop us up to the next resistance at 21,171, or a touch higher in the zone here, and maybe up to the original breakout to the downside. Look how close we came to my minimum downside objective on this NASDAQ futures contract. Damn close. The objective was 19,017, and we got down to about 19,140. 1-minute chart. Actually made a new high by just a teeny weeny bit a few moments ago, but we're right there right now, so it looks like it's going to make new highs again. We have support on the YM holding, but here we're only 50% of my downside objective, which is still 38,300. Nevertheless, oversold at support, starting a bounce, making it just a tiny bit above yesterday's high right now. So I'm thinking we're going to come up to 41,965. Or maybe in this case, a little bit higher than that, up to a little resistance level. I'll drag this to the right slightly. That's better. And that would be, again, 42,350-ish. And then turn down. So again, modest rally, several days. We'll see what happens. And yeah, we're making new highs for the day. YM right now. Okay, Russell, a different animal, but similar situations at the moment. Now, this is the Russell 2000. That means it's a low cap stock index. And that's why it's a different animal than the E-mini and the NASDAQ and even the YM. It hit support. very oversold conditions, quite a long time, almost a full month. Yeah, about 3 weeks. So up to resistance, more likely than not, 21.15, and another resistance level, 21.72. Those are my two levels above the market I expect the Russell to be able to rally up to. And the 1 minute chart having a little trouble at a minor resistance level from a high late in the day, a couple of days ago. Needs to get above that high right there in order to get some upside momentum going. And bonds. Yay! Yesterday's low touched my circle. That's the very bare minimum I would have liked. I still have today being the exact day that I forecasted for a turning point, a low. Now, I thought that the prices were going to be around 115.11, give or take a couple ticks, because that is the same price levels at which the first shoulder low, which is a double bottom by itself, formed at. Again, 115.11, two lows, give or take a tick or two. Then we have this head and shoulder bottom inside this larger head and shoulder bottom, which is now finally starting to show a little bit of rally strength, but it's a doji today. Dojis are not particularly profound. They just mean kind of uncertainty. No higher high in the previous day, no lower low in the previous day. The closing price is obviously going to be a little higher or a little lower, not a lot, usually. So we're down slightly at the moment, and I would not be surprised to see a low into my circle, hopefully not too much later than today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that at the latest. I don't know, what is the date at this edge here? The 19th. And the 19th happens to be Wednesday of next week. Okay. So at the latest, Wednesday of next week. And hopefully, again, at 115, 11, 12, right in there. We'll see what happens. 10-year notes, same story, different prices. Crude, doji, up a little. Support level, almost tested. Oversold conditions, though. Bouncing pretty good, nothing special, doji. So I'm waiting for this little bit of a pennant, you could call it. Also not particularly a good example, to pop up on the upside. Next, heating oil, oversold again today, new lows. In a very broad area of support, so that nothing really popping out at me except about where we are at the moment, and oversold, but it's not a very good support level. Draw a line across today's low historically, going backwards, of course, historically. And you find some evidences, some bottoms and tops right in the ballpark. A scale of 1 to 10, it's a 4 or 5 support level. Not that great. Okay. I'm looking for a turn up. Not getting it yet. I would not go short at these levels. Waiting for a buy signal. Next, natural gas. Coming down pretty good off of an overbought situation and a false upside breakout. That's a classical blow off top kind of thing, including a tiny gap. Exhaustion upside gap, blow off top, close below previous highs. All of these little indicators told me the market was supposed to go back down, and the next day it hardly went lower, and then kaboom. And then yesterday a little more, and today we're bouncing slightly. I think we're going to go down some more, probably to at least 3.56, and can't rule out lower than that. Next. Oh, wait a minute. Yep, that's it. Next, I got gold, silver, platinum, copper. All four metals, three of them being precious metals, had a bullish engulfing I commented about on Tuesday of this week, March 11th. There's your bullish engulfing. My comments were probably to the effect of, I like bullish engulfings. It looks like it should push the market higher or something like that. But I'm not oversold, so I'm not getting a green buy signal. Nevertheless, it's part of my ER signals, a very important part, and it's worked. We got a rally on Wednesday. We got a sharp rally in the new high ground completely yesterday, and today we're finally getting overbought with another new high. So it's time to watch for reversals down, maybe only to 29.73. It might come off a little more to 28.82, and even a little further than that, which I doubt. But I'm liking the direction. I'm bullish on gold. It's just that it got overbought here. And when that happens, it's usually not a good place to start buying. It's usually a place to look for sell signals. Next, silver is almost the same story. We're so close to overbought, it is silly. The rally RSI got up to 74.91. It needs to touch 75 or higher in order for me to be officially my interpretation of overbought. I learned RSI from Wells Wilder himself in the late 70s, 80s on the seminar circuit. And I knew the guy, a friend of mine, so custom education, if you will, private classes, if you will. So anyway, if I'm right about this topping out in here, we could be building the last shoulder high in the next week or so, week or two. If it doesn't go much higher and it rolls over, because the timing is good, the price is adequate, a little higher than I'd like, but the body parts are here. It's just the last shoulder is growing, I think. Get too much strength, you're going to kill it. It takes too long going sideways, you're going to kill it. If it comes up a little bit more, and this is satisfactory, it's a tiny bit early and it's just a hair too high, but it's maybe good enough. Well, it is good enough. So today could be the high. As long as we start working sideways to lower, period, we could have a last shoulder. Next, platinum. No pattern here, really. Great sell signal, a little early. Not overbought, but very close again. Today so far, RSI has gotten as high as 74.04, but not quite up to resistance. So this could pop up a little bit more. I'd like to see 1030, give or take a touch, for a high today or next couple days of trading. Then it would be overbought probably, and that's more my style, and then I'd be a little bit more optimistic of it turning down. High grade copper also had a bullish engulfing, just like platinum as well as silver and gold, on Wednesday, Tuesday of this week, and it went up just like the other three. And today is a new high above the resistance area, like yesterday, which also closed above the resistance area. That looks like a breakout to the upside yesterday. So what have we got today? A new high, a move back to support, and current quotes are right about the beginning of support. Remember, old resistance turns into new support, and old support, when it gets broken below it, turns into new resistance on the way back up. So we're at a minor area of resistance right now. Soybeans, soybean oil, meal, corn, wheat, and then some meat. Now, soybeans and all the grains, I'm trying to justify a long-term major bottom formation developing, and I still am. So I've got to have significant intermediate to longer term type of bullish price action, which means you can't make any new lows, especially on a closing basis for any significant length of time. And I'm talking about a month or two or more. And we basically haven't done that, coming real close in soybeans. And we're up a bit today, 6 cents at the moment, around yesterday's high. I need to really clear at least up to 1036. The major breakout to the upside would be at around 11, a little under, a couple of pennies under 11. I'm going to call it 1098 or something. Above that on a closing basis, now we're talking. Then we're going to get an upside objective of 1208 and even potentially higher. and maybe a lot higher because the long-term trend probably will have had a change to up. Oil, soybean oil, holding a little bull trend line I drew in this morning. Yeah, oversold conditions, minor support, and I've added that little bull trend line. So yeah, they all look like it could hold, should hold right around here and start to turn up. If you were tempted to be a buyer, I can't say anything wrong about that. I just know that you should have a relatively close stop in. So your risk would be what? A little bit below 41, probably. And give or take, you'd have a 50, 60, 70 tick risk factor. Soybean meal. Generally speaking, the same kind of comment. Back down to support. Was oversold a week or so ago. Now here we did make a new low for many, many months and years. But the closing price was right at previous lows, and it couldn't make any downside follow through. Didn't. Jumped up a lot the next trading day with March 5th, up some more, tested support on a little 3 or 4 day dip. Yesterday made new highs for 3 weeks and dipping back slightly today. Doji down very little. I like what I see. I need to close above yesterday's high to keep this thing going. Could happen today, could happen in a few days, but I don't want it to close below 298. Period. Corn. A little test of Wednesday's low, no big deal. Slightly lower on the day. The low that we made on March 4th, that low is very important. It looks like a last shoulder low. Again, like some other market I mentioned earlier, I think it was bonds, we have a head and shoulder bottom that worked past tense, period. And that pattern was by itself the head of this larger head and shoulder bottom with its first major low for the first shoulder on February 26th of 24, a little over a year ago, with a bullish ER buy signal smack dab on the bottom day. Great. Then we have a bottom that was almost an outside up day. I don't think that was a bullish engulfing. I'm double checking right now. That low was 407.5, and the low the previous day was 407.5. Missed by a tick. Anyway, bottomed out, almost at oversold conditions, rallied nicely, and made a small head and shoulder bottom. We got a buy signal on the last shoulder low, October 17 of last fall. And what a whopping big move it developed. So now, current situation, last shoulder low, I think, of a 1 year formation, March 4th of this year, only a couple of weeks ago. This little dip doesn't kill anything, harm anything, gives you a little bit of an opportunity for long-term trading to get a little cheaper entry. I just need to see it turn around and start to move up. Getting down to this low could create a minor double bottom for the shoulder, maybe, but getting below it on a closing basis is putting things into serious jeopardy. I think the timing on this thing has been pretty damn good. I'm going to do this real quick. Start the measuring stick here and go to the lowest low. There you go. Now grab it and move it all the way to the right from that lowest low. And wow, yeah, the timing has been very accurate. It was only just a few days late. And relative to a year size of a formation, that's very accurate timing-wise. These timing things can always be within, I don't know, 5 or 10% off. Rarely are they exactly correct, but they do give you a concept of when. And the size of the formations vertical size give you a concept of how much higher or lower. I like it. Wheat, not a head and shoulder, just simply a lower low, no follow through, pop back up again very nicely. Same comments for all practical purposes about wheat. Got to get above important recent highs, above 622. Then we got something going big. Cattle, bought the bottom of the market. The strategy bought the bottom of the market, ER signals. green, bullish engulfing in oversold conditions. Great. Excellent signal. Looks like a possible new high close to the move up. Got a little overbought yesterday, and it's still a little overbought today. Excuse me. Very slightly overbought, not much. So I think we've got a little bit more upside, but a little is important because we're overbought. I don't expect a lot more. I know sometimes these overbought conditions can last for days and days and weeks and even a month. That's fairly rare. So within a few days to a week or so is the normal amount of overbought situation. And then within that time, usually market will turn down. And very frequently it'll have a bearish engulfing. And if it does, I'm probably going to get a red bearish sell signal, ER signal. And hogs. Bullish engulfing today at the moment. Yay. In a support area. But I'm missing oversold, and it's not even close to oversold, but nevertheless, an outside up day, a bullish engulfing. I like the looks of it. And I'm turning friendly because of that feature as long as it closes higher than yesterday's close. Remember, I have a couple of hours plus until the markets close in general. Maybe not hogs, but a lot of others. And here we are at the E-mini, near its highs. New rally high a little bit ago, around a little after 10 o'clock, 20 minutes ago, and a little bit of a dip here. I think it can make it up even a little bit more. We're up slightly over 10 on the SPY scale, up 102 2 on the E-mini scale. You guys have a great day and a great weekend and profitable trading to you.